Alright, so this is gonna be basically why I believe doctor assisted death should be legal in all parts of the world for anybody of any age. This is basically going to be why I believe in the right to die. So, what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna start with the most basic reasons and just go down the list because I really have a lot to say about this. Okay. Okay, so the first reason is basically no one asked to be here. No one asked to be born. Okay? I think it's just a known fact that everybody in the world knows. Okay? Whether you have I think anyone, whether they have common sense or not, can easily come to that conclusion. It's just a basic fact that everybody in the world knows. Okay? It's no one asked to be born. It's just a known fact, which will never even make any sense to me, by the way. But it's just the way it goes. So that's reason number one why I believe in the right to die, euthanasia, doctor assisted death, whatever you want to call it. That's reason number one. Now, there's several other reasons too, and I'm going to be getting into that a lot. Um, so also, like, another reason is like some people just don't like this world we live in, which is more than understandable. Think about it, there's thousands, and I would even be willing to say millions of people who die in the most unthinkably horrific ways every year. Just think about it. There's people who get raped, murdered, beaten to death, shot to death, you know, hunger, disease, starvation, poverty, fucking you name it. Also, people get kidnapped, you know? There's wars going on all the time. There's at least at minimum of 3 or 4 school shootings per year nowadays. Okay, so what some people might say is this is just not the kind of world I want to live in, which in my opinion is more than understandable. And like when I say this, I speak for all people in general, you know? And now, yeah, many people might argue that and say, this is just not the kind of world I want to live in. Which, in my opinion, like I just said, is more than understandable. And, now I'm going to move on to another reason. I think this is one of the biggest reasons. I think right to die or euthanasia or doctor assisted death, whatever you want to call it, should be legalized in all parts of the world. Now, as far as I know, the only countries in the world that actually legalize it are the Netherlands and Belgium, which I think is absolutely fucking stupid, if you want my honest opinion. Okay, and when I say right to die should be legalized in all parts of the world. I'm not just talking about, because some countries legalize it if you're like terminally ill, you know? But I'm not just talking about that. All people should just have the right to die whenever they want, regardless of what is going on with them. Whether they're terminally ill, mentally ill, or if they're just simply in a lot of pain because, you know, they have just whatever the reason, you know. Now, like, I don't really think the reason someone wants to die really matters. All I think is that it's just stupid how most countries won't legalize it, because here's the reality of life. And I can say this very bluntly because I know for sure. Life is not for everyone. I truly believe life is not for everyone. And here's why. Because the way I see it is people commit suicide every day. Okay? Basically, just the simple fact that most countries can't even grant citizens the right to die with dignity. I think that just proves that that's because most countries can't grant citizens the right to die with dignity. This is why people resort to all these, you know, painful, violent, scary suicide methods. This is why people shoot themselves and hang themselves and overdose, you know. Now, really, why can you think of one good reason why anyone would want to have to do that when we have like trained doctors with the necessary tools to provide a quick, easy, and very peaceful death? It is so unbelievably fucking stupid how like because like this world just cannot legalize right to die with dignity, people are literally forced to kill themselves in these unthinkably scary ways. Okay? It just does not make any sense. I mean, can you honestly say it's better for someone to be forced to shoot themselves or hang themselves or overdose? You know, jump in front of a train, jump off a building. Can you honestly say that's better than just providing someone a quick and easy death, peaceful death? Because in my honest opinion, it makes absolutely no sense. Okay? And if people, to anyone who's wondering why so many people commit suicide every year, this is exactly why. Because really, this is a major problem that has been existing for decades and decades. I would even be willing to say centuries at this point. When there is a quick, easy fix, but this is a major issue because until the day that people finally start to wake up and realize this and become aware of this and finally give people the right to die with dignity, we're just going to keep having this problem over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? people are going to be forced to shoot themselves, hang themselves, overdose, jump in front of train, jump off building, you name it, until the very end of time, until we can finally give people the right to die with dignity. Because here's the reality at this point: life is not for everyone. And people make up their minds every day. You know what? This is just not the life I want to live. This is not the kind of world I want to live in. I did not ask to be here, so I just don't want to live anymore. And in my honest opinion, I think that's perfectly understandable. You know? And that's the thing, you know? I think it's perfectly understandable. And because yeah, and I cannot tell you how unbelievably fucking stupid it is that the only two countries that actually legalize doctor assisted death are the Netherlands and Belgium. That is so unbelievably fucking stupid. Okay? This is why people commit suicide in unthinkably scary ways every day. Okay? I don't see the big deal. Just give people the right to die with dignity, and we won't have all these people dying in horrific, unthinkably scary ways, you know? I don't see the big deal. It's not a big deal. You know, people die every day, and it's like we're all gonna die eventually anyway. So, can you honestly say it's a big deal? And these are just some basic things, you know, people don't stop and take the time to think about. You know? And there's all these basic questions people just don't ask themselves. Okay? You know, what's going to happen when the entire human race dies out and becomes extinct? And there's no more human life on Earth. Hmm? Tell me that. Okay? Is anything we do in life gonna matter the day the human race becomes extinct? And like, this is the reason I decided to make this video, was because this is a major problem. Okay? People are literally forced to kill themselves in unthinkably horrific ways every day. Because this sadistic world we live in just does not want to legalize doctor assisted death, which is a major problem in my opinion. It's a major problem because I believe all US citizens and all people in general should have the right to die with dignity if they want. I do not think for even 1 second it is right, it is even slightly right that people are forced to kill themselves like that when we have trained doctors with the necessary tools to provide a quick and easy death. In fact, in my honest opinion, it does not even make any sense to me, you know? And there's all these like basic things I wonder about, like that I don't think any of us will ever have the answer to either, such as what is the true meaning of life? Why were humans even made, you know? It just has never it just has never really made sense to me, you know? And all I'm trying to say is that these are just basic questions, and I'm sure I'm not the first to wonder about this. These are just basic questions that we as humans will most likely never have the answers to. But, you know, the reason I decided to make this video is because I think this is a major issue that happens all around the world. I don't know why. Like, anytime someone tries to bring this up, why this is such a taboo topic, you know? Why nobody ever wants to face reality and talk about this. Because I feel like if people just were willing to face reality, people would realize that people commit suicide and it's just part of life. And if that's just the way it goes, why should people be forced to do it in a painful way when we have trained doctors who can easily do it themselves peacefully? Does this I'm just saying, does this even make any sense to you? Because in my opinion, this does not even make a little bit of sense to me. And this is a major issue. Okay, it's been happening forever and it's going to happen and keep happening until the very end of time. Okay, this is a major problem that happens all around the world. And it's just going to keep happening over and over and over and over again until someone can finally do something about it, you know? I mean, think about it like this. Would you want to walk into your, I don't know, brother or sister or any of your family members' bedroom and see their brain matter, you know, splattered onto their beds covered in blood? Would you want to see someone hanging from a rope, you know? Would you want to see that, or would you prefer, would you rather have that, or would you rather have someone dying a very moderated, peaceful, and dignified death? You know what I mean? Because I'll tell you something, if it were up to me, I would choose the second option any day. Think about who wants to see that people like their dead bodies covered in blood or hanging from a rope, or who wants to deal with this, like, you know, let's just say like you walk in front of you step in front of a moving vehicle on a highway. Okay, think of all the problems that's going to cause, you know. Police are going to have to come and investigate. You know, the entire highway could be shut down for weeks even until they finally figure what really happened. until people finally figure out what really happened, you know. You know, someone may get charged with, attempted murder when when it wasn't even their intentions or what they meant to do, you know. The point is, there are just so many problems that come from not giving people the right to die with dignity that it would just be so much better if people could just legalize it in all parts of the world, you know. I don't even see the big deal, honestly. Not everyone wants to live. Not everyone wants to live in a world where there's people dying all these unthinkably horrific deaths every year, which is more than understandable in my opinion. And also, like I said, no one asked to be born, which is just a known fact that everybody in the world knows. So that's all I'm saying. Like, if if just right to die was legal, we wouldn't be having any of these problems, you know? Think about it. If someone kills themselves, police have to take time out of their day to come and investigate what's going on. They don't know what happened. Someone may have done it instead of them to them instead of themselves. You know, it causes a lot of problems and it's just a major inconvenience. And this is basically why I believe doctor assisted death should be legal. You know, it'll be major problem solved. We won't have we won't have people literally having to be forced to kill themselves, you know. We won't have people being inconvenienced in all these unthinkable ways, you know. Just legalize the right to die with dignity, man. It's not a big deal. Just knowing people die every day, we're all eventually gonna die anyway. And eventually there's gonna come a time where there's no more human life on Earth at all anymore. So, yeah, unless like, something changes, people are just going to continue to kill themselves and we're going to have all these problems until probably the end of time if nothing changes, you know. So, I know this video is kind of long. We're at more than 23 minutes now, but still, I just wanted to make this video because this is just a major problem we have going on all around the world. And this is basically why I believe doctor assisted death should be legal in all parts of the world. And this is why. So that's really all I have to say for now. So later.